December 24th. For most people, it's a day filled with joy. Families gathering, last-minute gift wrapping, children peeking at presents under the tree, streets are alive with laughter, and homes glow with the warmth of Christmas lights. It's a day of hope, peace, and celebration. But in 1914, for the soldiers fighting in World War I, December 24th was just another day in hell. For them, there were no carols, no crackling fires, no festive feasts. Instead, there was mud, rats, and misery, trapped in frozen trenches, surrounded by the sounds of distant gunfire and the lingering stench of death. Christmas seemed a world away, or so they thought. That evening, something extraordinary happened across no man's land, a place that had been a killing ground just hours earlier. A sound drifted through the cold night air. Singing. At first, the British soldiers thought they were imagining it. But no, it was real. The Germans were singing Stille Nacht, Silent Night. Before long, the British soldiers joined in. Two sides, enemies in one of the bloodiest wars in history, singing carols together across a battlefield. And then, something even more incredible happened. Soldiers began climbing out of their trenches. They met in the middle, on the frozen, snow-covered ground of no man's land. They shook hands, exchanged gifts, chocolates, cigarettes, and even buttons from their uniforms. Some helped bury the dead, a somber but necessary act of respect for the fallen who had been lying in no man's land for weeks. One British soldier, Bruce Bairnsfather, later wrote, "I wouldn't have missed that unique and strange Christmas day for anything. I spotted a German officer, some sort of lieutenant, and we shook hands. He introduced himself and remarked on how marvellously English the British pipe smokers were." Another soldier, Albert Moran of the 2nd Queen's Regiment, described how a German soldier showed him a photograph of his wife and children. For a moment, the war disappeared, and then came the football match. Somewhere along the Western Front, British and German soldiers cleared a patch of snow and kicked around a makeshift ball. Diaries differ on the score. One soldier claimed it was 3-2 to the Germans, but honestly, no one really cared. Imagine it. Laughter echoing through the same no man's land that had been filled with screams just days earlier. For a few precious hours, the war was forgotten. But this truce wasn't about politics or strategy. It wasn't ordered by generals or commanders. It came from the men themselves, exhausted, frozen, and longing for some shred of humanity. They found it in each other. By December 26th, the orders came. Soldiers were commanded back to their trenches, and the brutal rhythm of war resumed. For most, the Christmas truce became nothing more than a memory, and as the war dragged on, the brutality escalated. Poison gas, machine guns, and relentless artillery ensured there would never be another moment like it. But today, more than a century later, the Christmas truce remains a symbol, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's hope. That for one fleeting moment, humanity triumphed over hatred. The Christmas truce wasn't about politics. It wasn't about victory. It was about men, tired of killing, finding peace, if only for a day. And that moment still echoes